See, I did this to you. Remove, and you were done. But this here is in broadcast. Hello, is anybody here? I'm back. Hello. Hello. Anybody home? There you go, Coy. Somebody ended my live by accident. I removed this person, but they press in broadcast. So anyway, I went on this long rant. Please tell us about what I was talking about. Please.
I don't know.
You don't remember?
It was basically about the what
What's
you
this live is about? Introduce yourself.
Armel wanted me to talk about the third. Hey, hi. Thanks for coming back. Armel basically wanted to talk. Hi. So I messed up. When I was moving from the other room, I touched end broadcast, thinking that would just mean that I would just be off it, and then we didn't realize that while was talking about what he was talking about his seeing what was happening with the law enforcement and police, and what was happening around the country, when it came to how the policing was impacting different folks and our reaction to it. Anyway, he went on a good rant for 3 minutes before we realized that we weren't on anymore. So, but nonetheless, the reason why he wanted me to get on here was to explain from my perspective, since I came from, I'm Jamaican, so our experience with the police, I guess, is a little different from here in terms of our expectations.
More. Who protects you
Um,
in Jamaica?
of yeah, like who protects who in Jamaica if we expect the police to protect us and so on. And I was experimenting, well, he knows my life story, and I guess it's more of a communal kind of protection than anything else, versus expecting the police to come and enforce anything. Um, just to give a little of a background of, I thought it would be easier for me to give a little background of what's it like in Jamaica from when I was growing up and my experience is that I would joke into Arma that I was basically what's called a ghetto princess. I didn't realize until later on I moved here, because my parents, they were, they born poor, grew up poor. My mom was very entrepreneurial, so she created several businesses, and so we were thriving, striving, doing well. However, she chose to build up this big house in the middle of the hood, and they became like godparents to everyone. And that being said, so if in terms of protection for us, we understood that at the time. I mean, where I came from is actually called Almond Town, and my parents actually had a bar that was quite famous at the time, and it was even in the Shaggy video with Shaggy and Shaggy and Sing. They actually created a video, and the bar was featured in it. But the point was that for it, when things happened in the community, it was really the gunmen, kind of kept law and order, and they kind of also had a lot of respect for my parents, because my parents like godparents with kids and helping with give them school books and my lunch money, and a lot of people saw were like Auntie Sonia, Mr. Scott kind of thing, and giving them kind of love like that. So I mean, I could tell you so many instances of situations where things happen in the community and it was kind of taken care of by the local government. um, and I'll give an example of that. When I was growing up, one of the gunmen, or my mom saw him as a youth, and she actually was trying to help him give him a job and stuff, and he did his little deeds on whenever we kind of knew he did his deeds sometimes. Um, but he was like a babysitter for me and my sisters, and used to read us bedtime stories, which is kind of weird and odd. So I had a gunman as a babysitter at one point. But anyway, there was this guy in the neighborhood who was essentially raining terror on the neighborhood. He was stealing from his own people, robbing people, doing all sorts of dastardly deeds. And one day he showed up dead.
You're missing the point telling your story.
No, wait, you ran off. So, you? I don't know
I
which
didn't
part of
ran
the
off, I
story.
was listening to you.
But I was just trying to say in terms of policing the neighborhood.
Okay,
The guy
this is
was-
what I want to ask. I'm gonna just ask a question to help
Okay.
you out here. All right. Where were the police? This place was like,
The police, they had a station down the road, but that's what I was getting to the point, was that this guy was terrorizing the neighborhood, and it was one
Go
of the gunmen that took care of him. He ended up dead.
so where the police was.
The police came and saw the body and kicked the body and was like, "Oh, this is," I remember what his name was, and he was like, "A long time him for dead. I want to get it back.
Okay.
I want to
So
give.
on a
I
day-to-day-
want to. No, the police said, a long time I'm a boy for dead. I want to give the guy a bear who killed him. That's what the police said. They didn't give a shit.
Where was the
Okay.
police on a day-to-day basis in this?
We didn't see them.
community?
They were around. So they used to come and drink at the bar sometimes. So they come and drink at the bar that my parents had. But the police, they weren't really policing the area. They were just part of the community. And when it came to keeping law and order, it was really the local guys that made sure that things didn't get out of hand and kept things and people in check.
So before the live ended, I was on a big rant. The police department, as we know it from now, is a colonial concept. Way back in the days, most communities didn't have security force or police departments or anything like that. That came with the Industrial Revolution and the growth of cities around the world. The British was also the English, which Jamaica is an English colony. They created garrisons all over the world. One of the places that they set up shop was in Ireland. While they were in Ireland, they couldn't they didn't want to continuously use the military to stop a lot of civil uprisings. So what they did was they recruited Irish natives and had them police their kin. From there, it seemed to have worked well, just like mostly to keep down civil disobedience, drunken publics, civil bash community collaborations for riots or control, just being crazy intrusive. So no uprisings or the British could maintain control over the people. The second instance came when as London was going through the Industrial Revolution, they decided to create the London Metropolitan Police Force, where they had these night watchmen, volunteers, and they worked for the local politician and basically supposedly protected those who paid and didn't protect those who didn't pay. So basically it kept people in their place or a particular social class. That was monitoring for corruption, and because sometimes the money didn't get kicked up. Later on, or reasonably at the same time, this same experiment went down in Charleston, South Carolina, with the slave patrols, the first organized slave patrols in Boston, Massachusetts, by the major industrialists to stop workers from taking home spillage or excess from the things that they were producing out of the factories. The next thing was later on down from the civil disobedience in Boston. The next thing was kind of like the NYPD, which was basically a reformation of organized gangs that basically protected merchants for a fee, put out fires for a fee, everything for a fee. If you ever seen the movie Gangs of New York, that's pretty much was the origins of the NYPD. Um, the police department, from my research that I've been doing over the past few weeks, the police department as we know it originated probably in the 1950s with the uniforms and as we know it now. But and we sitting here thinking about it, it's hard to imagine a world without them. So I look at it as like um when I posted this video about uh the lynchings, and then 2 days later I see someone sort of beheaded down in Mississippi, and they put it off. I was like, who the hell protects you if the police don't protect you? And how could they protect you? And they can't legally, they shouldn't be able to do anything until a crime has been committed, because that's the job of the executive branch or the law enforcement. So it's like, is that law enforcement job to like make everybody a criminal, or what they perceive to be a criminal, or stop somebody before they do something? Like, how do you stop somebody before they do something, before they commit a crime? I mean, I really don't even understand the concept. Um, so it boils down to, I think people lost their perspective of whose responsibility is it to protect yourself or to defend your property, and we lost the sense of community and taking care of each other. What's up, Howard J? Uh, what's up, dude? Knowledge, good to see you. You're still pimping. Yeah, we lost the, like, I know where I live, people tend, I don't know how it is everywhere, people tend not to even talk to each other, even as neighbors, you know. So the night watch idea is gone, and even how does that even work? And the I think law enforcement and even the executive branch, which is the law, like the president or the governors or the mayors, which happen to be the law enforcement branch, I think they're going above and beyond their job. They're creating the laws. They say it's through regulation, but they basically, in people are guilty and prove until and it's like you proving yourself innocent. So I think back to when I was growing up, where police was just like, uh, I was more afraid of them than I was gangsters in Brooklyn, because I'm walking down the street, police would jump out on you just because, and it was just random, and I don't even know how many times I was attacked. Um, when there was crime, they're always there after the fact. I can't even think of an instant where a crime was actually prevented. If a crime was prevented or stopped, it was usually a citizen.
Jo Jovi Jovaki.
Jova.
Yeah, she made
Yeah, it's about
he made a good
investigating
he made a
crimes.
good point that policing stays about investigating crimes, not crime prevention.
You can't prevent a crime before it happens if your job is to enforce the law. So that, going beyond enforcing the law, or what they call crime prevention and public safety. Well, public safety is something totally different. Crime prevention is like profiling. How do you know somebody look like they're drunk, or what they got, or look like they're about to commit a crime? And yeah, you can go to psychologists, but this is America, and we're protected. We can look the way the hell we want to look, as long as we don't do. A person can, act. It's like I was talking about. I read an article about someone in Central Park. They was practicing for a theater and a theater act in the park. So they were practicing for a performance, a guy and a girl, and it was basically a choking scene that they were just rehearsing in the park. And next thing you know, a woman police officer comes shooting. She ain't like, "Hey, stop, interrupt." There was no courtesy. She just started shooting because she seen it what looked like a guy choking a woman.
Why would they be doing that in public anyway? That's dumb.
No, they were just out
How
practicing
would people know
foreplay.
that they were practicing? That's
It doesn't
dumb.
matter. As a practicing, you shouldn't lose your life. Whatever you do, kids play fight, and then somebody comes shooting.
But if somebody sees somebody shooting like it's like choking about to
I
kill
think the
somebody,
best
then
thing it's not a. If you see something, say something.
yeah, shoot him.
Cassian,
I'm just saying, Armand.
that's irrational.
I'm
That's
just
some
saying,
Jamaican
that's not the
shit.
best. No, that's not the
They
best
were they were
example.
acting. They were rehearsing.
How would she know though? If you see
If she would
somebody-
know, like, hey, act,
hey, what? The guy choking the girl. Look at
and the
you
guy
guys.
would have stopped, and then you interject. You don't
shoot his
just shoot.
ass.
Yeah, you don't just shoot. What kind of
I
shit
know
is
about
that?
you. Shoot it. And I think that's justified.
And that's
I'm
some
sorry.
liberal shit.
Liberal, but that's not no liberal shit.
The whole
That's real shit.
concept of police is a neoliberal act. It's like, okay, you don't have to take care of yourself. We'll take care of you. You just pay us. You know, don't worry about it. You know,
Well.
it's the whole concept is an extremely liberal concept.
What are you talking about?
The whole concept of police,
Oh,
of police, organized police
Liberal?
department. Yeah,
okay, I don't see that, but okay.
yeah, because you didn't do your due diligence.
My due diligence.
Yeah.
I'm talking from life, man.
No, it's not just life, but it's just it's people have to
Who
like.
said she's gangster? Dude, no, say I'm gangster.
She putting on a show,
Put it on show, what, Armo?
but like I
I
said,
mean,
I think the best defense and the best prevention is to proper communication. Say something, be courteous. People need to start speaking to each other,
well, I mean,
talking
it's
to each other,
definitely. I mean,
communing with each other. You know,
having a community look out for each other is,
and that's what happens in the third world.
Was what I saw and what I experienced. Right?
Everybody not a shooter, but everybody should know one.
That is true. I knew many shooters.
Everybody's not a shooter. You know what I mean?
I knew a lot of shooters.
Everybody's not a shooter. Everybody can't live with themselves after the trigger pull. You know, even in cases of police, it's a very difficult thing. But everybody should know one.
Well, I mean, if here's the question, and I'm going to think about it. Was the police part of our community? That's what I have to think about. And in some cases, they used to come and drink at my parents' bar.
They come and drink. They come hang out at the whorehouse.
They didn't prevent which whorehouse?
Historically.
Oh, okay.
In real life
I
too.
don't know about a whorehouse where I live. But I mean, they in some cases they didn't prevent any crime. And they were part of the community. The crime prevention or deterrence was really from people in community looking out for each other, and people who are more gangster than others who take care of situations that get out of hand. That's what I saw, and that's what I experienced growing up in Jamaica. So, you know, we didn't really fear the police. We feared soldiers, because when soldiers come to
what's the difference between the soldiers and police?
You know, it's a good question, because I mean, when if anything got out of hand and they called the soldiers, and everybody got scared at the time, and that was a different kind of ball game versus the police. You weren't really afraid of the police coming, but you were afraid if they decide to call military into the area. Then that's a different kind of ball game. That's what people be scared of.
So, how do you invite people on if somebody want to join?
Google it. Use your phone. Give me your phone.
No.
Send this link to guests. Oh, so you have to send the link to people.
I don't know how to do it.
Oh, well, copy and maybe messenger them in
Nah, but I can put it in the thing.
What? In what thing?
Guess. Invite.
Oh, there you go. I'd invite.
And copy.
And I think you have to messenger them.
Paste. No, it goes up and thing, and they should just click
on
the
you
link.
just paste it in here, and anybody can click on it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
People need to understand what?
Oh, people need to understand we're going to have different opinions. True.
Yeah. Somebody could come in.
Oh.
See? Anybody could join. Come on and spread your word. And I know we got some, you know, people who, but I seriously think people need to step up, because I know Dude Knowledge just cussed me out one morning about that. And I told the Ghostbuster thing. He know what I'm talking about. But but I really, you know, People need to
But
start
you know
taking
what?
care of each other.
The expectations. Here's the thing, though, that I looked at. The expectations of who protects you changes based on the community that you're in. I think
Yeah,
because where we live is very suburban, right? So people would probably expect would not be afraid of the police because the interaction with the police is a different kind of thing.
but then I was assaulted with a flashlight, uh,
Oh,
the
you
light beam.
because you had that Maryland plates and you're looking weird.
Okay, my work truck, right? Let me tell you this, right? My neighborhood is like strange. If you live here and the whole story about my son, whole different story. But if you live here, you're generally like free pass. You can speed 80 miles an hour and nobody even say shit.
And they get familiar with the car
If
too.
they're familiar with your vehicle and passing, you'll never get stopped. Nobody ever gets a DUI around here. We don't have traffic lights, so it's not like a one light town. Um, Nothing ever happens here. The other thing, I think the last crime that I've read in the paper was that boy stole a cane, and the police called his mother, and his mother beat him with the cane he stole. so, so that was about it. But I have my work truck, right, has Maryland plates. So I drive. I'm in front of the house. I was actually listening to the Turkey live, kind of like in a car coming from work. I'm just sitting here, just listening to the live before I come in the house. And next thing I know, it's just like a blinding light hits off the driver's side mirror into my eye, and I'm like, what the hell? And it's like banging on the window. And I'm like, he said somebody making noise. He got a call for somebody making noise and playing loud music. I was like, huh? And it's like, do you know somebody there? Do you know somebody who live around here? I was like, huh? Do you know somebody who live around here? And I'm like, yo, I live here, man. Take that light out. He was just shining a light. I didn't even know if he was police or anything, you know. He just kind of like assaulted me with the daggone flashlight. Um. So anyway, he when he found out that I lived there, he has when he found out that I lived there, and he just said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dad," but somebody called for the servants. I said, "Yo, everybody on this entire street has my personal phone number. You know, everybody on this personal on the street has my personal phone number. Uh, everybody. So, if somebody had a problem with me playing music or something too loud, they would have probably called me like, "Oh, Mel, turn the shit down." But I wasn't even playing music. I'm listening to Turkey live, and unless I was laughing too loud at these guys going like crazy, um, I'm just trying to.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to send the invite in. I want somebody to come in and express and talk their shit.
Well, it's, I mean, there. Oh, that's what you're trying to show? Okay.
No, I'm trying to click it in here. I don't know, but yeah, I need an admin or somebody know how to work this thing a little bit better. So yeah, but that was it, man.
No, you have to exit full screen. You'll be able to see it in a private chat. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all. That's all. But it's just a matter of
So basically, he was a black guy in most of the white neighborhood, and with Maryland plates in Virginia.
in Virginia.
Yeah. So I guess that made you stand out.
I don't know what it was. He just ran the plates, and the plates go to the office, and I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know what happened, but it was just like it was blinding light. He must have used one of them dope ass lights. What's them lights they use? Clouds, whatever, them super bright lights that just blind your ass. He used the light as a weapon, and I felt I felt violated, right? So I was gonna go down to the daggone sheriff's office and throw a fit, but I was like, nah, let me just leave it alone.
Yeah, because I said that might actually work against you, where you could become
I
targeted
was go-
because of it.
I was gonna go act like a blue hair Karen or Ken or one of them or one of them mugs, but I didn't. So I just kind of like chilled out and just let it slide. It was kind of like the first incident.
Since you've been here.
Yeah, and he was probably one of them rookies that didn't really know because everybody, it ain't but a couple of black folks around here, so everybody pretty much know me. Even if they don't speak to me, they know me. Because I make myself known as far as I speak to everybody, even if they don't speak back. I deploy a tactic called common courtesy and act like your folks taught you some fucking manners. So yeah, it had to be a goon bean or cloud light or something, man, because that fool blinded the hell out of me. I don't know what the hell it was.
It was just strange because you don't normally see cops on the street around here at all. Once in a while, and that, I mean, the only time I really saw cops here was when the neighbors, when they were going through their divorce, and they were pretty loud at times. So occasionally cops came by when the little domestic nonsense. We was not, we just moved here.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't really see cops on the street, so that was just kind of strange that had happened at all. That was just a strange thing to happen here.
They just drop through every once in a while, but it's just like drop through. But
I mean, you almost barely if ever see
ever
them.
see them? Yeah, I
Yeah,
see them in the morning, like park right here outside of the
yeah, they're trying
village.
to give people tickets.
Oh, they give you tickets.
They're
Oh,
just trying
they
to give
my
people
son
tickets.
was working at Harris Teeter, and which is like a mile away, a mile or two away. Uh, he was driving. He drove his girlfriend's car that day, and they got his ass.
Because
I was like, why you? It was like, why you didn't drive the? He didn't have his own car at the time. He was driving it. He was driving the other truck.
the
Yeah,
Cadillac.
yeah, he was driving a truck. So he didn't have his own car at the time. So I guess he didn't want to drive my old truck to work no more. So he drove his girlfriend's car. Got him. As soon as he turned out of the neighborhood, got him. Where you coming from? But other than that, you barely. And they're literally down the street.
Mm-hmm.
They're literally down the street, and they're really expensive, beautiful sheriff's office. It's a beautiful building. It's like a architectural wonder,
Hey, puppy.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
with-
So, but again, the whole idea is, from you mentioned that in school in Brooklyn when you were growing up, it was just the cops really assaulting young
and
black men
extorting.
and extorting.
And I found out
Um,
that was the historical thing.
that was a norm.
That was the norm throughout history.
But again, it comes down to neighborhood, right?
OG
Because
$2. What up?
or experience. I mean, besides that incident that you had, what was it, like a year ago? Besides that incident,
That was a couple of weeks ago, a couple of months ago.
But besides that incident, though, I mean, we have seen, maybe because of where we live, in all fairness, with what happened to your son when he did that crazy drive all the way from down south with no
Oh
plates and
my
no.
God.
But because he had the license from here, they showed him a different kind of courtesy than if he wasn't from here. So having the right address was actually
makes all the
beneficial.
damn difference. Was beneficial
For him, right? Because he didn't get what I mean. He should have been locked up in jail. But all the stuff
Well,
that he did that day.
my son was under 21, 2 guns in a car, open container, and weed. They pulled him over about 2 miles away from here.
The car wasn't registered either.
And the car wasn't registered. He bought a car, and the car wasn't registered. And no, he had somebody old expired license plates.
So he bought a car. He didn't change registration. The car wasn't properly registered, and he was driving 80 miles an hour in a 55 miles zone.
In a 55 miles an hour.
The car basically could have just literally done a Flintstone thing and fallen apart. and then I think he had guns. He had guns in the car. Guns in the car, and then a stick of weed or something.
pistol. He had two pistols under 18. I mean
No, he
under
was
21. He was over
yeah,
18. He was under 21, and you can't have pistols in Virginia
but
under 21. Oh, under 21.
but interestingly enough, the cops knocked on the door and brought him here, right?
Nah, I went and
No,
got
you
him
went to
from. I
get him,
went and got him from Hamilton, from the side of the
but they
road.
called him to come get
Yeah,
him
they called me to come get him from the road side of the
versus
road and had
locking
the
him
car
up
towed.
because he had the address where we live.
Yeah,
So again, it comes down to, would the experience have been the same if he had that down south address, down southern
or
living
some New York
address,
address.
or a different type of address versus right here where we live? You know what I mean? So I guess it comes down. It does in some ways might come down to a class thing
I
where
needed you to.
your experience is different because of where they think your community where you come from.
So in that case, are they enforcing class or enforcing the law? So they're keeping people, poor people, in their place, keeping the middle class in their place, and keeping the rich people in their place. And nobody, you shouldn't go anywhere without invite. So it's just like they're controlling the flow of the classes, or are they doing the work of the politicians that are above them? Like Joe Biden says, or the president says, ATF, you're the law enforcement, make this regulation so we can get these people.
But I mean, but here's the thing too. What interesting enough is that you rarely find, like, they say crime doesn't really happen here, but even when
I'm
if a
not talking
crime,
about crime.
okay, well, I was just talking in terms of how they treat in instances here.
This is the thing, right? A friend of mine that I grew up with, it's not a friend of mine, it's just somebody that I know. Um, he was a gangster, so he did some stuff.
Said two wrongs at one time. Dollar was like, "Don't tell son the two wrongs at one time." Yeah, it was multiple wrongs that he was doing. We
My
actually
son?
we thought it was funny. We said they actually treat him like a little blonde girl. Like, I mean,
We
that's
ain't even gonna talk about my neighbors.
because they treat him like he was a little
We
blonde
don't. e-
girl.
We ain't
They were
even.
like, "What the
We ain't gonna talk about my neighbors' kids, the shit they got away with. But I know people who get caught with 700 daggone oxy pills selling to a police officer, and they drop off at a front door.
Yep, knock on the door and tell Polly come get her.
I know crazy. Stab up the other kid. Stab up somebody. I'm talking about over 18. I ain't talking about no juveniles either. Drop them
No, but
off.
remember even my
Drop them off.
no, but remember even
That's what I'm
in
talking about.
oh
That's what I'm
my
talking about.
friend,
Yeah.
yeah, her son, they were doing little pretend to be gangsters in Ashburn, which is a very prestigious neighborhood,
Yeah. Stop
pretending
saying
to
that.
be gangsters and even stabbed each other, and that didn't
Stabbed
come,
each other, stabbing and all this,
and extortion
they
and
gang
stuff.
banging and all of this stuff.
You'd never hear that in the
Drop them
news.
off. Drop them off. Let me take you to your daddy. Your daddy send you to on vacation or some shit. Yo, but anyway, but I was wanting to get
It
into.
could also be how we interact with the
So
cops.
tell me how, because I really don't remember any, like, and I have a lot of family members who are in law enforcement, like a lot, and I know a lot of people from the neighborhood that I grew up in became law enforcement because the mayor back in the 90s when I was gone, they basically set up benches in some of the worst neighborhoods, and they set up benches in some of the worst neighborhoods and just recruited people. Anybody who had a GED became NYPD officer. That was like 92, 95, the good old all the gangster days. And after that happened, when I did go back to New York, I couldn't tell the difference who was the gangsters and who was the cops for real, because they just put on a uniform. Like the most cold-blooded dudes that were in my age group put on uniforms. I was like, wow, and doing the same shit they was doing when they was shaking down, And it became part of, I think, in New York, it became part of the culture. But in Jamaica, and that's what I named this live after, and I noticed a thing. Jamaica, the police are controlled by an executive, which would be the party, the members of the party. And the strange thing is, the criminals are political. So tell us about the politicalization of crime in Jamaica.
Um, I mean, from at least growing up, it was.
Tell us about the politicalization of the crime.
I mean, growing up, I mean, there are two political parties, the JLP and the PNP, and it was a lot of crime was it was almost like the Bloods and Crips, I guess, and the colors that you wear. So with JLP, you wear green, and PNP is orange, and so in terms of they would the criminals or these young men would be given guns to defend the political interest and to basically coerce people into voting a certain way, to maintain political power. And that was very much a part of what the culture was like. I think that got dissipated a little bit over the years, and things may have changed as time went on. But growing up in the 80s and 90s, that was very much what the culture was, where you would have the police being, or even the police, or even these young youths, where it was all being determined by political affiliations and who kind of thing, and which garrison communities are part of what, and that was what it was. So it's just it was it's almost like we always. I mean, I remember in Jamaica we always thought America was just this beacon of incredible beacon of hope and what you aspire to be, because we didn't think that politics, this huge separation of politics, mattered as much that you could actually have a debate with somebody who's Republican or Democrat, and then y'all be friends, and it's no big deal. And now I'm seeing, as time has gone on, this huge division in where the politics mattered so much that people can't even talk about it anymore, or even be friends and have different political views. So it's becoming like what third world country Jamaica was. That's just where it's heading. That's what I'm seeing. This huge divisiveness between party, and can't have certain views and different views and still be friends. So that's the only thing I could really say about that.
So it's strange because, like, say for instance, depending on in Jamaica, it's like, and in other places of the third world country, in Jamaica, depending on who's in power, that's the neighborhood that gets cracked down. So if the if JLP is in power and there's a PNP crime area, that's the area that the police go to crack down on.
They would more crack down.
On
That is true.
They'll crack down on
Actually,
on a neighborhood controlled by the opposing party.
Actually, the only time I ever saw where that wasn't the case was when they were trying to find
Dudas.
Yes,
when they was trying to find
his own party was cracking down on their own neighborhood to find Dudas, and that was the pressure from the American government.
And it is a conspiracy on that. And I'm gonna talk to a couple of years ago. They found this guy Dudas Coke in Jamaica, and his political party, who was JLP, and his neighborhood protected him. Now he's like a $10 million drug dealer net value, which is not really much. But seriously, his own party turned against him. But that was just because of a push by the United States government, because they sent a damn guided missile destroyer, a DDG, out there. And anybody know anything about these ships, that ship could have destroyed the entire island, that one single ship. So they sent the daggone Aegis destroyer, Ollie Burke class, out there. Crazy. I just know these ships. They're like crazy. They're like the best. They're the best in the world. Anyway, they catch this guy a month later. 2 months later, Osama bin Laden dead. So I think he got something to do with the accountant.
Was, compared to many here, he was a small town.
He was a small time drug dealer. but they sent a
But
destroyer to get him, a U.S. destroyer, to put pressure on the president, on the prime minister down there. If
yeah,
that's Armel conspiracy, it's not true. It may or may not be true, but that's just Armel saying some talking
but
shit.
interestingly enough, okay, at one point Jamaica had a Don culture where it was the Dons who helped to maintain law and order in the community, right?
Mhm.
And they determine how things go down, how some things happen, and so on, right? And for the past couple of years, they've been getting rid of the Dons and targeting them. And I find in what's happened. Oh yes, Dudus Cook, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, Dallas Cook.
Hmm.
Yeah, there were like 44 people in the neighborhood who end up getting killed from the real crackdown of them trying to protect him and them going after him. But what I'm saying is he was part of a culture of what called dons of each neighborhood. And the role of the don was to whatever dealings that they have, they would meet out. um they would give like gifts to the kids, school things, maintain law and order, make sure that things didn't get out of hand. Yes, they took over the garrison, yes. um but the thing is, I'm gonna tell you from what I could say, that by them cracking down on the dons in Jamaica, that actually
Increase the
increased
crime.
crime in a different way, where now these kids have no leadership. And now these kids, like before, there were certain rules. You don't go after anybody, no women or kids. You respect elders, certain things.
No
But
civilians.
now these kids roaming around have no direction, and they become vicious killers. Like, doesn't matter who you
And I
are.
think that happened here. If you compare it to
Yeah.
the United
So
States,
yeah,
like if you look at Chicago or any LA, when you remove the leadership, and they do it in Iraq and everything, they remove the leadership and it throws everybody else in chaos.
it's in
And
chaos.
it you leaves me up to question is like, is the chaos better,
Yeah.
or why don't you try to like control the leadership or guide the
Yeah.
leadership or something? I
Because
think they tried that in Chicago and that didn't work. It was a
yeah,
mess.
that is true. There's no longer. So that was a big thing. There was always someone to keep things in check. Now, because these days in Jamaica, if you're known as a don, then you get immediately targeted by law enforcement, and they look for you, they kill you, whatever, they lock you up. So nobody wants to be a known don anymore. But that being said, they have these kids who are now running around, vicious killers, no direction. They kill anybody, woman, child, anybody.
Chicago the same.
It's gotten kind of crazy
Baltimore,
and weird.
Philadelphia,
So I mean,
pick a city.
so exactly. So what's happening? What happened in Jamaica? You find the same kind of thing where they got rid of the leadership, and now it's the wild, wild west where these kids don't have any direction at all. Um, so I mean, again, in the protect. I mean, in terms of if you think of what protecting the community is and protecting people, they were kind of that protection,
The other
and it's
thing,
no longer
the other
there.
thing, the protection that these people had. Why did this protection had to be the bad guys all the fucking time? You know, it's just as if the bad guys were put in place. We are the good guys in the community leader. The
Well,
good guys that are there to
I'm
protect
gonna
the
interject
communities.
with that. Okay. Um, my parents were okay. My mom was more involved a little bit in politics than my father, right? But you know that their role in
Shit,
you know their role in the community where
her
they
mom damn near a gangbanger.
a gang me no gang man. Don't call my
Yo,
mom
heavy
gang.
in politics.
She
Heavy in,
she was not anymore.
yo. They paint her house. They paint her house green. She had a fit.
Cause green is yellow, piece of PNP.
Yo, they paint her house. They mistakenly paint her house. Man, listen.
My mom was not a gangbanger, but she was very much a part of the
She's the party.
political party, and she was seen as a community leader where they needed to make certain things happen in the neighborhood. Then they would come to her and try to say, "Hey, this is what we want to." If you could influence people a certain way, so she did actually have that kind of influence. But she was not getting banged. Let me say she wasn't
Yeah,
getting.
but I know when they painted that house out of that house green, she had a goddamn heart attack, and she was all the way in New York.
Because people are you're very much into
Invested in New York political.
invested in your political beliefs, and our political beliefs were orange and PMP all the way. So that's a different kind of thing.
Yeah. So anyway, right? Next week,
So
right?
basically, I'm going. Is
Next
this
week,
green or not?
we got like 13 minutes left. Next week, right? I'm leaving in the morning. Actually, I got a flight out to Seattle, Washington. Next, I'm not coming back
What?
to.
No, my mom's is not stacking bodies. No, no. You know
She's the
what?
most passive. She's the most passive person ever, but it's passive aggressive. She could just like he's like,
No.
oh, I'm coming to get you. He's
Okay.
like,
And
you
then
really want to
I'm
get
gonna tell you
you?
guys a true story. This is a true story. Okay, about my mom's potential, my parents' potential influence is a true story. Okay. So you have these gunmen in the area, gangsters, whatever, right? I remember this kid came to my mom and said, I don't like how this guy is looking at me. Like, let's call him X. And he was scared of his life, right? And so my mom went to the guy and said, listen, he don't like how you're looking at me. I hope you're not planning on doing nothing. Please leave the kid alone, that kind of thing, right? Um, anyway, a couple days later, this ex guy ended up killing the kid, right? He did. And my mom, she cried for days because she thought maybe she could have said something different to not let it happen. Because at one point, I remember bursting in when I was a kid, and that time was a big thing to have AC, and she had two known gangsters in our bedroom with an AC on, discussing trying to keep the peace because they were going too much at it, right? So or she was always trying to keep the peace of what was happening in the community. Anyway, so X killed the kid. Mummy cried like crazy because she couldn't believe that it happened and she was trying to prevent it. But then about a few weeks later, that same guy, because the same guy X who was paid by someone to kill the kid, he said something disrespectful to my parents, and X turned to my mom and my father and said, "Do you want me to take care of him?" So he asked him if he wanted him to take care of this very same guy who paid him to kill this kid. And my mom was like, "Hell no, 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 no. We don't play like that." Because I'm gonna tell you, we weren't running an illegitimate business. We actually had good legitimate businesses running. It's just that they believed in staying in their community, and we had a big house in the middle of the ghetto kind of thing, right? Prominent location. So she in terms of what they believed in, yes, there were community leaders and stuff, but she didn't believe, or we didn't believe in getting involved in all them crazy things that were happening, because they still ran legitimate businesses. They
Well,
still
if you
ran
know anything
legitimate things.
about Jamaican literature, they don't tell good stories.
What?
Cause
You don't like my story?
nah, I don't
I
like
didn't
your
want to be
story.
called in names
No, I'm saying though, but yes, your descriptives are very different.
because I didn't want to be called in that. She killed the
No, no,
guy
no, no,
named
no, no,
that.
no, no,
Call
no,
on.
no. No,
The
this is
point of the matter is that,
all
okay.
right. This is what I see, man.
The point of the matter is that no, she didn't have no stacking bodies. Anything is that she didn't believe in that. We relied on legitimate businesses.
She's passive. She's a very passive
She's
aggressive.
very she's passive aggressive. She's all about business and very entrepreneurial and stuff, but she was also involved in politics. It's like you're running a fine line where you're respected by the gangsters. They know who you are, but nobody could mess with you. No one could threaten you. That's what it was. So as long as they kept their things separate and they didn't try, all right, Mom, come from a long line of dancing queens. No, but they didn't. It's like you run a fine line where you're known in the community, and people respect you. And as long as they didn't come that nonsense to you, everybody respected who you are. Then it was all good. So it's like knowing that you can't cross the line and knowing to respect your elders. That's what that really meant. Okay.
So yeah, but like I said, I got a flight down to Seattle in the morning. I'm coming back next week. I'm gonna try to go live while I'm out there because I'm gonna go check Jason and Shanna. Um, yeah, I'm gonna be live next week. I don't even care what I'm doing. Uh,
Yeah.
the other thing is, right, and I'm from a long line of prestigious
Dancing,
gentlemen.
come from a long line of
I'm
queens
a,
and
I'm a from a line
Dantons.
of I'm from Brooklyn, so I come from a line of prestigious gentlemen, and that's on both sides. And I was watching the show. It was like I don't even know what show it was. There's no such thing as a totally good cop, and there's no such thing as a totally bad crook.
That
So
is true.
you know,
That is true.
everybody's human and everybody has a mistake. But the point that I'm trying to make with this entire life is if you're carrying a firearm on a daily basis, it should be you should take on a responsibility to be courteous, nice, and prepared to defend not just yourself but everybody else. You know what I mean? Is stewardship is what I would like to call it. You know what I
You
mean?
know what?
Even if you don't know them, even if you don't have to pull out the strap and say go, say something. Hey, how you doing? You all right? Check the situation. You know what I mean? Because it might be good and it might be bad, but you never know until you ask. Said it after 9/11. You see something, you say something. Don't be just walking around like you don't know. Like, there's not none of my business. You know, just say something. Like, you don't have to be mean,
What?
derogatory, be courteous. Like, hey, what up? You good? Check the temperature. You know what I mean? Temperature, if the temperature's bad, usually that bad will turn on you, but you should be ready for it. Check the temperature.
But the
Be
same thing if
courteous.
you're going to a
Speak to
new, if you're
people.
going to, it's honest in Jamaica. If you're going to a new neighborhood and nobody know you,
You
you kind of
speak.
need to have to check in and be acknowledged. You know what I mean?
You check in. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
you
I
have
go to a
to.
new neighborhood. I was growing up and I was always growing up going to new neighborhoods because I was into hip hop. And wherever there was a hip hop and wherever there was rap, that's where I was at. I don't care what a battle, a party, a up and coming group was coming out. I was there. Bronx, New Rochelle. That train was taking me everywhere as a teenager. But everywhere I went, I never really had any problems because I always checked. Hey, what up?
My black family said,
It's like,
"Mom
hey,
had
what
the
up?
keys to the city." In some ways, I mean,
Yeah.
it's my mom is fly as hell. She moved back to Jamaica. She went back, opened up her businesses, and she's still doing her thing. And she completely enjoys being there. She's here now, but she's actually going back. She came here for about 2, 3 weeks. She's been here now.
Her mother's idea of retiring is counting money.
I mean, because she believes you forget about credit. It's all about cash. So it is counting cash. She doesn't enjoy counting money. Mommy does like counting money. So yeah, so she enjoy keep running our businesses where it's all cash and she can't count our money. So, but yeah, she's very much still a part of the community and very well known and
Yeah, but just
respected.
common courtesy goes a long way. I'm about to go to Washington. I never been out there before, but I'm gonna check in and I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna be Armel, absolutely charming. It's only two things you can do: love me or hate me. You know what I mean? I think somebody got a song like that.
That sounds like a Jay Z song.
It ain't a Jay Z song.
I don't know. Everything you listen to Jay Z, so it sounds like a Jay Z song.
Everything I listen to is not Jay Z. I listen
Okay.
to Most Def too.
My fat family. What's up?
Yeah, what up? What up, Billy from my fly family? I was so he missed it last week when I just gave a whole testimony on how dope you are. You one of the
Might
flyest
as well
cats
be
I know.
counting my coins is a good time. It
Mhm.
is counting money.
Yeah,
My gosh, I did that so much noise now.
you count money till the money starts smelling.
Oh my, that is so true.
Count money till the money start. Yeah, I ain't never really. For real. The first time I held some
See, love me
cash.
leave alone is Jay Z.
The first time
He says
the
so
first
Jay
time I held some cash for real. I re-enlisted. I was when I was in the Navy. I re-enlisted the first time. They gave me a re-enlistment bonus, right? So they give you half the money up front. So they went direct deposit into the bank. So I go to the bank as soon as I got back stateside because I did it overseas. soon as I got back stateside, so my half of my re-enlistment bonus was in there, and that it was $30,000. I ain't never, I was a kid. I was like 20, 21 years old. I ain't never had that much bread. I had a couple of G's here and there growing up, but 30 grand, I had to withdraw everything out of the bank, count all the money, and then I just put most of it back. And I tricked out. I was broken like a week. I was broken like a week. What I mean, that was
But
the
you had
first time I
fun. You
really
had
touched some
fun. You
money.
had fun spending the 30
Yeah,
day.
yeah. That was the first time I ran up. That's the first time I held on to some all clean, good RML, my own money. But it wasn't the last, and I don't even know how to count the shit for real. I'm a swiper.
Became a pro at counting money.
I'm a swiper, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm a swiper and a spender.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a swiper and a spender.
It's almost. Mm.
Yeah,
Is this the number you watching?
yeah, yeah. So we got 7 people, and I want to thank y'all for coming on board.
Use the
And
Irish
like I said, I'll
twins.
be in Washington State next week, and hopefully I'm gonna go live. It might be 8 p.m. Pacific time, and hopefully I might be rocking with
Pacific
my.
time is how it's like a hour.
It's
Ahead of
3
it.
hours behind.
Oh.
It's 3 hours behind.
So you can't just come on at 11 o'clock like you're supposed to and just
Shit,
keep
my
it
flight is
Eastern?
like 11:45
Oh. PM?
p.m.
Why you get a kind of flight? What time you
because I
landing?
wanted to be home in the morning.
Who picked me up? What time you landing?
I don't know. I got to look at the damn itinerary.
I see. I don't know your itinerary, so who picked you up?
I don't know.
Zany driving the car.
It's at Dallas, so I catch a cab.
Yeah, that's not so bad.
Yeah, Dallas cab is not so bad.
Mm.
I try to get the closest airport. It's not so bad. It's probably like $20 to Dallas Airport on a.
That shit ain't 20. That was 50 years ago. That was before inflation and COVID.
Oh,
There's
I
no
don't
way
know.
that shit's still 20.
It ain't that damn far. It's
It's
yeah,
20 minutes away. Or 20, no, it's 30 minutes away. I could think.
yeah.
No?
So yeah, it was good seeing y'all, but I think I'm good with an hour. And I'm sorry about this young lady here disconnecting the first live that I was on StreamYard. So and
Kinks is part of the game, Armel. So you
it ain't no
learn.
kinks. It's due diligence and research, but I've been too busy today. So somebody told me that they was gonna yeah, I'm gonna go get everything set up so when you come home we can do the live.
I remember saying that. Who's that? Who said that? I know who that is.
Uh,
Zadie, says it.
yeah, Zadie ain't say. I wish Zadie would say it.
I don't know who. No, I don't know, but I cook though.
Yeah.
It's good.
Anyway, but
Mm.
yeah, it's a pleasure seeing y'all, and hopefully see y'all next week. I don't even next week.
We're trying to get our site up with some dope stuff. Armel to do his thing, but he hasn't had a chance to do it to make it properly functional.
I got 15 jobs, yo. I'm an electrician. I'm a carpenter. What else? I'm a plumber. What else?
Oh.
I'm an architect. I'm a civil engineer. I'm a structural
No,
engineer.
today you're a landscaper.
I'm a landscaper, yo. I got 15
You're
jobs.
cutting-
I got
you're
15
cutting-
jobs.
you're cutting
I'm
up most-
everything, man. I'm a bricklayer. Oh, and I'm a lumberjack, yo. Cutting down trees and shit. Yo, I'm a everything, man. And a locksmith. And what else?
Oh, I know you put the lights.
HVAC, the bathroom fans.
Did you fix that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yep.
One downstairs or upstairs?
Up downstairs.
Oh, so the fan working down?
No, the fan don't work. The fan doesn't work because you don't have power to it.
That's what I was saying, but I thought you said you fixed it.
I put the fan together, plugged
put
it
it
in. It
in.
was hanging up. Yeah.
Oh, so what about upstairs? That work?
That one
Did you?
worked.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm a
Oh,
every
you got
damn
my
thing.
job at Uncle Ruckus.
Yo, you crazy. And yo, my life is extremely real. I'm like at everything. What else I do? Oh yeah, also do the web. I also do web page and.
You didn't do no web page. I did that. Don't be taking credit for my work, Arma. I'm the one who's been doing the web page thing. You forget. You're taking credit for my work, Arma. You ain't doing no web page shit. I did that.
Yeah, that's why it's not. I have to redo it. But yo, any ideas, man? If y'all could just
Oh,
shoot
you
me a
said, say,
suggestion.
oh, that's a great compliment, Howard J. It's
What?
you should show this. How you show this?
What?
There you go. It's coming along a year from now. When you guys look at it, I'm so you're shocked to me. It's a growth, you know.
Yeah, let
Oh,
me tell you the ultimate goal. This is
this is funny too.
this is the ultimate goal, right? Uh, yeah, I got mad jobs, man, and very little skills.
No, it's skills. What are you talking about?
I don't
Jack
got
of all
enough.
trades.
Yeah, I just can't. I just don't have enough time to do every daggone thing. But yeah,
No, guys are busy.
I have a really jam packed life. Like I said, I got 15 jobs, and only one of them pay. Only one of them pay. You know, I mean, I got 15 jobs. Only one of them pay. The rest of the shit I do for the love of the game. Ain't no damn benefits. I want that shit. Yo, I envy them dudes. I envy them dudes that just got one job and just go home and go home to the wife and the kids and watch TV and shit and play on YouTube, man. I want to do that. You know, I can't. I never even known that life. So, and I'm almost 50 years old. I never known that life, but
yeah, my work is to take over the jobs. I mean, you used to the end job, though. You don't know all of it. I told the contractor to come in and finish some of the stuff he got going on because I need to have everything finished this week.
Yeah, I don't know, but if anybody want a job, and y'all up here,
you got plenty of job.
You got plenty of work.
I don't know what I'm gonna do when I take on the next project.
I'm not participating.
Okay.
That's what I always said. I'm not participating. I don't.
Yeah, what?
Who the hell is Uncle Rucker?
Uncle Rucker's from Boondocks. You don't know Uncle Ruckus? No, I need to. You don't watch Boondocks? You watch Boondocks?
I watch a couple of them.
Uncle Ruckus
is he the guy who has the alopecia, the reverse Michael
the
Jackson?
Reverse Michael Jackson. Yeah, Uncle Ruckus got the reverse.
Michael Jackson. I don't know about Uncle. I don't know about the Boondocks that much.
That was hilarious, though.
Because I didn't really get into it.
Yeah, the Boondocks.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes, like the one with the fundraiser.
I can't believe that Regina did both little boys. Though. That's
I like the one where he was the fundraiser and he raised the funds because that's the favorite thing I like to do, and that's what this movement is all about. Let's raise the funds, let's stick together and build a community and make some bread, yo. My ultimate thing, I hate daggone the way YouTube do their thing. They're monetizing over advertisement. Instagram, same thing, man. I like the freedom to control your own dialogue, and that's the ultimate goal of me being on here. You know, more to come. You know, like I said, if you got that thing, you got a job to do. Protect yourself, your family, and your community. Step up your game. Step up your game. Speak to people. You know what I mean? Show leadership. You know.
What? Reverse. I could never say that word.
I don't know.
Reverse bleaching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cassian's other job is a TV show critic. Yeah, she a TV show critic.
I don't watch TV.
Yeah, she's known for TV.
I was gonna say I don't watch TV that much, but I literally just binge watch that night watch show.
She binge watches. She watch TV for like 3 days straight, no sleep. She might not even eat.
I eat
sometime.
All right.
All right.
All right, folks. I'm out of here. I gotta go take care of the little one.
All right. Take care. Good night, everyone.
All right. Good night.
Good night. Thanks for coming. Come back again.